Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sandra's Sisterhood. This is a YouTube channel for the single and childless woman. Today, I'm going to talk about coping with being childless, not by choice. This is something that we probably never stop doing and kind of ebbs and flows, just depending on where we are in our acceptance and our grief, what's going on around us, who we're around. And these are some things to keep in mind as you're starting to work toward acceptance. The first thing that I would really highlight is number one, talk about your grief. This is not easy for a variety of reasons. Often we don't have a lot of language around childlessness and grief. I know for me, I was, in one of these midnight Google rabbit hole sessions where I'm like depression and childlessness or when will I ever have kids, right? I wasn't even sure what to look up in order to find things that would be helpful for me. So recognizing talking about your grief is not easy. For those of us who are single and childless, right? It's grieving something that didn't happen. Not only grieving something that didn't happen, but it's usually this slow drip. Sometimes we give ourselves a certain age where we're not going to panic until we get to that age, and then we get to that age, and then we start to move the goalpost back a bit. And that's us coping and trying to come to terms with what we are really afraid is going to happen. It's also hard to recognize grief in somebody who is single and childless or becoming childless by circumstance. It's something that we generally keep inside. It's something that is happening around us. And sorry, not happening around us, but it's something that's happening inside us. And then the people around us don't always know that this is what we're feeling. Again, because it's difficult for us to have words around it. So consider talking about your grief with people that you feel that you can trust with that vulnerability. Number two, find a support. Easier said than done. I am very well aware of. I think that's one of the reasons why I have my Instagram account and my private practice working with women who are childless, because I recognized when I was going through this that there's not a lot of support around this. There's a lot of societal expectations that people have around women. People around us don't know how to support us around this typically. And one place where I found support was a therapist. Again, if you're really feeling the grief around this, consider seeing a therapist for that support. If you feel like you're a little further into acceptance and you're wanting to kind of set some actions or some goals related to acceptance, a coach could be somebody that would be really appropriate for you. Again, many of us have had experiences with therapists that haven't really been affirming in our childless. Again, trying to help us problem solve it versus sitting in the space with us and hitting acceptance. Tottenham Journal has a new wellness directory that has different wellness providers that really specialize in working with women who are childless, not by choice. So that's something to consider looking at if you're having trouble finding somebody. Number three, redefine your goals. Again, we're very conditioned and are sent a lot of messages as women about motherhood, getting married, having kids, doing those things. And when that's not happening for us, we can feel like all of our goals and all of our future, what we've imagined for ourselves, just get blown right out of the water. Really think about when you're ready, redefining some of your goals. Consider some goals and setting some goals that don't involve having kids. Maybe you want to travel somewhere. Maybe you want to have do you want to read a certain number of books? I hear that going out. Think about some goals that don't involve having kids and that have a variety of different timelines around it. Think about a goal for the quarter. Think about a goal for the first 6 months, year, and then 5 and 10-year goals. There's lots of content around this as well. We also have a video about setting intentions. Number 4, this is probably one of the most important ones. Be kind with your thoughts. Those same messages that I mentioned before infiltrate our thoughts and tell us a lot of nonsense around what it means to be single and childless, not by choice. Why didn't it happen for us? We're broken. For some of us, we might think we're unattractive. Nobody wants us. We're not worthwhile. Everybody else can make this happen. Again, these are all thoughts that are really driven by messages that were sent about motherhood and its intersection with womanhood. So think about replacing some of those thoughts, right? With, I can have a meaningful, purposeful, and fun life. This is difficult. It's not just about replacing a thought and then poof, feelings are gone. Not trying to gaslight ourselves here. But it's about retraining our brain and retraining our thoughts around this. It's another reason why community can be really helpful. I think what's hard about retraining our thoughts and being kind to ourselves at times is there's no representation out there in media or stories where it's this single woman living her best life. It's typically, right, words like spinster or lonely or her life is in chaos, or her entire life is about trying to find the perfect partner. Again, there's more for us than just trying to achieve having a partner and having children. And for some of us, we can't achieve that anymore. And it doesn't mean that life has left us behind. So really think about reframing your thoughts around that. Write them down. Put them on boards. Put them on whiteboards. Give yourself opportunities to remind yourself of this. Just like how you have to do multiple reps when you're trying to retrain muscles and gain strength in your physical muscles, the same here with our brain. We have to put in the reps and we have to do it consistently. Community can help. Again, just to recap some of the ideas that we have for coping with being single and childless, not by choice. 1, talk about your grief. 2, find supports. Again, I just want to emphasize TutnamJournal.com has a wellness directory that has a variety of different providers that you can look at that specialize in working with women who are childless. 3, redefine your goals. And 4, be kind with your thoughts. Easier said than done, I'm well aware. And repetition and consistency can be really helpful in that. If you feel like having some supports around you would help you engage in these coping skills, consider following us on Sandra's Sisterhood on Instagram. We have a website, www.sandrasisterhood.com. We're doing a variety of different free events that it could be helpful to join and put on your social calendar. We have a book club March 4th. No One Tells You This by Glennis McNichol. I've been telling people if you don't have time to read a book or don't want to spend money on a book, just listen to the podcasts, and that would be helpful. You'd be able to participate just fine in that way. And then February 14th, we have a Sandra Social, where we have a social hour with women who are single and childless, not by choice, where we can have community, chat, maybe play a game or two, and hang out on Valentine's Day. So check us out over there for more, and hope to see you in our events.